Okay, so again, who is the strategy for? It's really for someone who values protecting the money they've worked their entire adult lives for. It's for someone who values a guaranteed income that will pay for the rest of your life with no risk to the market. Now, again, I normally need at least $250,000 in total retirement funds. That should leave enough for emergency funds and money to leave into the market while also securing a guaranteed income for life. And all the way up to the person with 8 figures in assets who's looking to protect a portion of that money for a specific purpose. So in retirement, there is no better way to protect and grow your assets than with the correct FIA. If there was a better way, I would be doing that. But I have not come across anything as of yet that even compares. So pillar 2, defining the purpose of your money. We want to ensure your retirement income is properly structured for life. Do you need income insurance? Yes, you do. It's just the simplest way to say it. The way I like to look at this is we've all had insurance to protect us from a short life in case of an early death. But have you ever considered insurance to protect you from running out of money in case of a long life? So to really ensure that you won't run out of money, you either need tons of money saved, like millions, or you need a guaranteed income. And the problem with having tons of money saved is less than 3% of Americans have over $1 million saved for retirement. And even in today's world, $1 million probably isn't going to cut it. And most people, if they're really being honest with themselves, know that they won't have enough. So the alternative is to cut your lifestyle in retirement or sit around and worry if you should spend the money or not. And honestly, that does not sound like a fun retirement. That does not sound like something you worked your entire life for. And that was something Sam was concerned about. Sam is our second case study here. So Sam's a single guy. He's 6 years old, has approximately $495,000 between qualified and non-qualified investments. Has a goal for a guaranteed income of $48,000 per year, $4,000 a month at age 65. The home is paid off. He has no other consumer debt. But what his dream is to move back to his hometown and have a small farm that he can use to hunt and garden. Now, he has 2 sons that are both independently successful, so he has really no concern for leaving money behind, but he wants to ensure that he will never be a financial burden to them. Because, no one has a crystal ball, and no one has any idea what will happen in the next 5 years. We're going to assume that he's just going to protect the money that he has, and he's going to keep it safe from any losses. Now, anything extra that he saves or invests over the next 5 years will just be a bonus. Now, when we talked, Sam wasn't overly concerned with having inflation built in because his cost of living was going to be so low due to the area that he wants to move to, but we're going to assume a 2% increase on his income gap. So his Social Security at 65 is going to be about $28,000 a year, which leaves a gap of $20,000 per year to fill on a guaranteed basis. So a starting withdrawal of $20,000 is a 4.04% withdrawal rate and will cause him to actually run out of money by age 90. Since we know that the 4% rule is no longer relevant and that a safe withdrawal rate is closer to 3%, that really means that Sam will only be able to withdraw just under $15,000 per year. With a 3% withdrawal rate, Sam's money would actually last him until 100, but that still leaves an income gap of over $5,000 a year. So what is the solution here? Well, just like Mike and Stacy, we're going to use 2 separate annuities. So with Sam, we're going to take $300,000 and put that towards an Atlas annuity strategy. We split the $300,000 into again, two different annuities. One of them had a 5% bonus and a guaranteed 7% roll-up on the income. The other had a 10% bonus and a 4% roll-up. The reason we use the second annuity is because this is a proprietary product I have access to that will allow for the opportunity to have increasing income over the first 10 years if the market performs. Now, what do we do at Atlas? We always use the worst case scenario, so these numbers reflect as if he had no growth. So these are the guaranteed numbers that we're going to be using, okay? And then we leave the remaining $196,000 in a diversified portfolio or all stock index. It would actually work in both with the calculations, like the S&P 500. But then we're also going to use that to help him offset 2% inflation per year, but also have it available for large purchases, medical and long-term care expenses, or to leave a legacy to his sons if he chooses, which again was not the main point. But we are going to assume that he will take the inflation increase and use that money for lifestyle in his retirement. So let's kind of see how this plays out here. We know that we cannot use the 4% withdrawal rate because even in a so-called safe diversified portfolio with just 2% increase for inflation, he's going to run out of money at age 90. And then he's totally reliant on Social Security, which would be a huge pay cut for him. So if he drops into the safe withdrawal area of a 3% withdrawal out of his $500,000 or a little about $15,000 per year, his money would last him until 99, but it does not solve the income gap of $20,000 per year. Because you can see in year one here, that's quite a big a difference. But with the Atlas Annuity strategy, not only did we solve the income gap, he still has almost $200,000 liquid money to keep invested to help offset inflation, or just to have it there for emergencies. And just like in the last case study, I'm not going to include any liquidity he has in the annuity because I want to prove a point, and I want you to imagine that money is off the table. We don't want to disturb the annuity because it is serving a specific purpose, which is providing income. So he has guaranteed income no matter how long he lives, and even at age 100, he has almost $70,000 to leave to his sons. Now, could we use a strategy to leave more behind to his kids? Absolutely. But what was the purpose of the money? It was to provide an income and never become a burden to his kids. And the peace of mind that he has knowing that he won't run out of money is, honestly, it's priceless. And again, that number is using some of the worst returns. That inheritance could be better depending on what the market does and how the index of the annuity performs. But here's where the numbers really start to come alive. Let's do the comparisons of what he would have had versus what he has with Atlas here. So, number one, starting withdrawal of almost $15,000 from his $495,000 that he had for retirement assets, okay? Oops, let's do that. That's starting withdrawal of $15,000 versus the $20,799 we got him in guaranteed income. That's almost a 39% increase in spendable income just in year one. Now, if we're being honest, the real amount he could pull from that $300,000 would only be $9,000 because we're comparing. We use the $300,000 to buy him that $21,000 in income versus what he could pull out over the entire $495,000, almost $500,000 that he has. But if we just zone in on that $300,000 that we allocated to get that $21,000 income, technically, using the 3% rule, he would only be able to pull $9,000 out of that, which that's 131% more spendable income with that $300,000 allocated. So can you see why this will put you ahead? When you have a higher withdrawal rate and the money is protected from loss, I'm going to beat the traditional retirement plan every time. Now let's look at how much spendable income from that $495,000 turned into from age 65 to age 100. Now with the Atlas annuity strategy, he had a total spendable income, and again, this is not including Social Security. This is just from that $495,000 that he had for retirement. Using my strategy, he had a total spendable income of $1,068,653. Not to mention the almost $70,000 that's still remaining. With the 3% withdrawal plan, that would equate to a little over $745,000 from age 65 to age 100. And if we do the math on that, let's keep this up here. 745,025 versus 1,068,653. That's over 43% more spendable income in his retirement. And if we look at the 4% withdrawal rate, which only would have allowed him $641,000 and change over the course of his retirement. Now, why is that lower? Again, it's because we're pulling more money out, and if we're looking at worst case scenarios, you're pulling more money out when the market is not performing. So with a 4% withdrawal rate, 391, the Atlas annuity strategy gave him over 66% more spendable income in his retirement. Now, are you starting to see how this stuff is really counterintuitive? You know, you naturally want to think that chasing higher returns is the way to go to get the most out of your money. This is why understanding Wall Street math is so important, because when you take losses out of the equation and provide a higher withdrawal rate on a guaranteed basis, nothing compares to this. So let's just do a quick recap of Sam's case here. So Sam's Atlas annuity income solution, we took $300,000 into two fixed index annuities. One that had an increasing income opportunity. The annuities will pay him a guaranteed $20,799 minimum per year, guaranteed for life, which leaves a remaining $195,000 to help offset inflation. He has the guaranteed income covered, and overall that gave him a 39% increase in spendable income from assets in year one. That's case study number 2.